Good morning. Welcome to Sunday's Early Morning Intuitive Guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well. And I wore my snowflake shirt in honor of what's supposed to happen today. Not a whole lot coming that's supposed to come down, but it's supposed to be sleety, icy stuff. So if you're out and about in my area, please be careful. Please be careful. So let us start with some breath. And we have two things we're going to hit today. Good morning, Miss Jo Neal. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to give you a little feedback on my participation in the Braver Angels event yesterday. Good morning, Barb. Welcome. Glad you're here. Here comes Gwen. Fabulous. Everybody's rolling in. This is good. This is good. So I'll give you some feedback on the Braver Angels event that I attended yesterday. And then we have a card called Green Man, which is about synergy. So let's start with some breath, though. Tapping on the chest. Good morning, Ruth Ann. Welcome. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Good morning, Catherine. Thank you for the pretty sunrise. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Hello, Beth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Yes, Gwen, we're supposed to get some snow also. Not a heck of a lot today. A couple of inches tomorrow, but it's supposed to be slippery. So, yeah. We'll see. We'll see how fun it is out there. But welcome to the upper Midwest, right? So, the Braver Angels thing. It was entitled Skills for Disagreeing Better. Gotta love it, right? Gotta love it. So I just want to run through some of the things with you. And good morning, CJ. Welcome. Glad you're here. Haven't seen you in a bit. Hopefully it'll pique your curiosity a bit, or maybe if you're having difficulties in your family or at work or whatever in terms of political disagreement, this will give you some incentive to maybe take some of the Braver Angels free workshops, etc. because they've got great stuff. They've got great stuff. There had to be, I can't even guess how many people on that call yesterday. There were 7 screens of people. So it was a lot of folks, which made me very happy. What that tells me is that people are willing to reach across the aisle and learn things and make changes. Good morning, Abigail. Welcome, 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 welcome. And there were a few folks that got a little bit strident, but that's okay. We're working on hard stuff here. This is good. So, the workshop goals for this particular one, Skills for Disagreeing Better, were that you have more understanding of the values and concerns of people who differ from you politically. So they gave us a list of the core values and core concerns that were more conservative and the core values and core concerns that were more liberal. And we talked about how, we could see things, each of us, on both lists. It made total sense. Total sense. Again, my thought is we're not as far apart as we think we are. We really aren't. But the media plays up the differences because that makes money. Yeah. So the workshop goals were that we would have an understanding of the values and concerns of people who differ from us politically. That we would have better skills for listening in a way that the other person feels heard. Good morning, Nancy. Glad you are here. Welcome. And that we'd have better skills for sharing our perspective in a way that the other person might be able to hear better, even if they disagree. So, pretty awesome goals, right? Then they had a couple of ground rules. We were here to talk about skills, not policies. So let's not get into policy debates. And there were a couple times people kind of headed that direction a bit, but for the most part, we were practicing skills. Good morning, Mel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And then it says, let's help each other out as we work on the skills. It's not a competition. Good morning, Maureen. Welcome. 10 of you here right now. Fabulous. Fabulous. Then there were 2 expectations to abandon, which I thought it was fabulous that they put these in here. Abandon the expectation that you will persuade other people they're wrong and you're right about issues of importance to them. Instead, hope that they will see you as somewhat reasonable or at least willing to listen, okay? And another expectation to abandon was the idea that the people you talk with will use these skills taught in this workshop. You didn't have them until you went to the workshop. Nobody else is going to have them until They learn from someone how to do this better. So expect that you will have to do the heavier lifting to begin with because you have the skills. So then they taught us 4 skills, and we got to practice each one. And the acronym was LAP, L-A-P-P, and it's listen, acknowledge, pivot, and perspective. And I love that they put them in that order, because how many of us jump in with our opinions right off the get-go, and pretty soon it's devolved into a shouting match, and who wants to go there, right? So the first one was listen. Basically, they're saying turn off your inner debater. Listen, listen. And don't be surprised if what you hear really isn't as far out from what you believe. It's just different verbiage. The acknowledge piece, I thought, that's very helpful. Again, most of us are all ready to jump in with our opinion, but people like to know that they've been heard. So once someone says their opinion, no matter how strident they are, acknowledge that you've heard it. So it could be so what I hear you saying is, or you mentioned blah, 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 but you just reference back. Good morning, Carolyn, welcome. Welcome to anybody I missed, too, so that they know that you heard them, all right? You still can disagree, but they know that you've heard them. And so then they had us do a really interesting little thing. We had to list all of the advantages of acknowledging first, then disagreeing. And it was a long list of advantages. It is well worth your time and effort to acknowledge what the other person is saying and then disagree. So what I hear you saying is you're concerned about, did I hear that correctly? And I hear you that you think, and then what about and then that's the pivot part where you're asking first permission. You're not jumping right into, well, my opinion is, you're asking first permission. Can you pivot? Is it okay? I'm wondering if you'd like to hear a few of my thoughts on that. Would you be open to, I wonder if I could add something here, especially if someone is really cranked up and they've gone through quite the diatribe. You need a way to put your foot in the door and say, I'm wondering if I could offer a few thoughts on that, and see if you can kind of ratchet it back down. Oftentimes the vitriol can be ratcheted back down when you do the acknowledgement piece and then when you do this pivot piece. And if someone doesn't respond to your pivot, I wonder if I could offer a few thoughts on that, and they just keep going. That may not be the time to try to have a conversation. They are wired for sound. You may as well, and then you have an option. You can sit and continue to listen, or you can politely excuse yourself from that conversation. There's options. And then the last part was perspective, and they talked about how to do that well from an I statement point of view, rather than this is the truth and you're wrong, and but that's not going to work. I statements, well, I look at it this way, or whatever. So it was a very helpful training. I really enjoyed talking with the various people on the call and seeing that there were that many people interested in leveling the playing field, in having reasonable conversations, in being willing to disagree and learn some things about the other positions, etc. And I said positions because you can't jam everybody into a box. There are conservative people who think abortion is a useful healthcare service. There are very liberal people who think it's fine for someone to own a gun. You know, we can't be boxing people up here, right? So anyway, useful. braverangels.org is their website. Check them out. They've got a lot of, they also do, so there's these training sessions, but they also do live debates. You can attend their live debates where they'll pick a topic, immigration, whatever, gun control, all the stuff, and you can hear people debate in an appropriate, respectful manner. How cool is that? So I just wanted to share with you that that was very helpful to me, and I would strongly recommend braverangels.org because they have great stuff. So now our card for today, Earth Magic, Stephen D. Farmer. Good morning, Bobby. Welcome. Glad you're here. And I'm going to let you see Mother Earth there, holding all her critters. Those of you who don't follow my friend Carol Schultz, maybe look at her Facebook page if you can bring it up. Her banner right now is a picture she took of two bunnies that are by a barrel. So it's all these gray and sepia tones, but there's a light mint green band on the barrel that just stands out, and the bunnies have snow on their back, like they've been sitting there for a while and they got snowed on. It is the coolest picture ever. So Carol Schultz, check it out. It's just awesome. Thank you, Mel, for putting in Braver Angels. I greatly appreciate it. So, I want to show you the back of the card. This is the back of these cards. That, to me, this says as above, so below. We've got the roots, we've got the branches, we got the whole enchilada there. How lovely is that? But here's our card for today. Green Man, Synergy. And if you look closely, let me grab it here. Here's an eyeball. Here's an eyeball. There's a nose. Can you see him? This image of Green Man is a little more abstract than often a lot of them are. But Green Man, Synergy. So, nice deep breath. Let it go. Green Man is Earth's vegetation personified. Although he has many variations, this card depicts a more subtle and embedded representation. I've seen the one where his head's kind of poking out from the foliage. He's green and he's got leaves all over him, but he's peeking out. In other portrayals, he resembles the face of a man covered in green foliage as branches and vines sprout from every direction. There exists some form of Green Man throughout history and in a myriad of cultures throughout the world. Often a symbol for the rebirth of life in springtime, he is also associated with the Lord of the Wildwood. As a representative of the plant kingdom, Green Man reminds us of the incredible synergy required for Gaia, Earth, to maintain her delicate and dynamic balance among the various beings on the planet. And unfortunately, human beings have done a banner job of creating imbalances in that delicate synergy. We witnessed this. Go back a little further. Synergy is the interaction and cooperation of two or more elements that produce a combined effect greater than the sum of their separate efforts. We witness this in the complex and cooperative interaction between plants, humans, and animals. For instance, fruit trees propagate by being eaten by an animal that then deposits it back into the earth after digestion. As a new plant grows, bees pollinate the flowers, and the cycle begins once again in nature's simple yet remarkable synergy. You have the advantage of an incredible synergy at this time. Good morning, Rebecca. Glad you are here. We are doing Green Man, Synergy. A flow of life is guiding you, where things just seem to fall into place as you move about your business. You are in a mutually cooperative interaction with Spirit. As your will is aligned with the will of Spirit, and your mission is congruent with your sense of purpose. When this is happening, there is a synergy, a way that your life force is continually coming into balance with the forces of nature. There is also a synergy between your spiritual awareness and your personal self, or ego. Be aware that the various idiosyncrasies of your ego are there, and do not take them too seriously. So when we get too locked into what's in it for me, how's this going to impact me, me, we've lost that lightness of heart that we need when we're dealing with the me of it and moving more into the we of it. Okay? Know that your higher self is always looking out for your best interests. In this cycle, Tune into that guidance, however it shows up, and you will find that you move through life with greater ease due to a synergistic balance of forces expressing themselves in you. So this is the kind of stuff that comes online when we practice our let them, a la Mel Robbins, or we practice our Byron Katie loving what is, when we quiet ourselves, still ourselves, move into that place of flow. Okay, what am I being guided to do? What's the next best step? I can't see the whole staircase. Thank you, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. But how do we take the next step in faith, not seeing the whole staircase? But again, I want to go back to that piece of quiet. So let's just take a moment here. We got 14 of you on here with me. Let's take some breaths, nice deep breaths. Now, in this stillness, listen. What did you notice? What are you being guided to do? And some of you might say, well, Bonnie, all I heard was crickets. Don't worry about that. Keep revisiting it. Keep pausing. Stoplights. Stoplights are a great place to practice this. You're just sitting there anyway. Just be. Breathe deeply. Tune in. What are you being guided to do? As you keep showing up, information will start to flow. So, that's our card for today. Synergy. Allowing that flow, moving into that flow. It becomes much less effortful when we allow the flow. So practice today. Any opportunity you get, practice today. Just be still. Yes, thank you, Barb. Just be still. Still and quiet. And a lot of people have a hard time tolerating that. Do it for a little chunk. Do it for 5 breaths. 5 breaths. That's long enough to be still. Then go about your business. Then practice again. 5 breaths. Then go about your business. If 5 feels like too much, do 3. Just practice those little timeouts over and over and over and over all throughout the day, whenever you think of it, all right? And have an awesome Sunday. We'll see you again tomorrow. If you're in my area, stay vertical. Don't be falling down in the slippery ice. We'll see how this thing goes. So got to whip out the paw safe salt and away we go. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you are capable of far more than you think you are, including moving into this synergy. Bye-bye.